Welcome and thank you for joining us today. We're excited to explore how Vision Quest is really revolutionizing the professional development with provider network management and network performance. I have April Beane, VP of Marketing at Quest Analytics. April, thank you so much for joining us. And I can't wait just to discuss everything that people can expect from Vision Quest this year.
There's nothing I love to talk more about than Vision Quest. It's been one of my favorite things about working at Quest Analytics since I started here about 7 years ago. So super excited to share information about Vision Quest.
Where was your first Vision Quest?
First Vision Quest, I came in after all the planning and everything had been done, but my first intro was in Las Vegas. So we had it at the Mirage, I think it was, way back in the day. And it was my first experience to what a conference could really be like when people put down walls and really want to tackle challenges in an industry and talk with their peers about best practices and things that they're doing. What are those challenges? How are you working through those? Because a lot of times you go to conferences and people kind of are a little standoffish. They don't want to share. They don't want to talk. But it wasn't that way from day one when I got to Vision Quest. That and the fact that everyone who shows up seems genuinely happy to be there and is really excited to see the questers that are there, in particular, the client services and support team who are always helping our clients work through problems that they might be having, challenges they're having with HSD table submissions, things like that. And they don't get to see these people every day, right? So when they see them at Vision Quest, I've actually seen more hugs than not of people just really, really being excited to interact with and actually physically thank and see our team. So it's very energizing.
Sounds like you're hooked from the start and match made in heaven all around.
Only drank the Kool-Aid right from day one.
That's fantastic. So let's just dive into the heart of really what makes Vision Quest a pivotal event for professionals. As we think about Vision Quest, how does Vision Quest really build that bridge between executives and aspiring leaders within this field?
Yeah, that's a great question, Kate. And it's actually when we think about as we're developing the agenda. So for Vision Quest in particular, we have multiple tracks. One track being specifically for thought leadership. So where we're really going to be talking about those high level trends, things we're seeing in the industry, things that are happening in regulatory. And then we have an experiential track, which is really a roll your sleeves up and dive in kind of session where you're going to do adult learning theory where you're going to apply the knowledge that you're learning and really be able to retain that information. And what's unique about Vision Quest is because we have those multi-tiered sessions available, most of our clients bring in teams that cover all the way from the C-suite down to the analysts. And I don't mean down because the analysts are doing extremely important work. But what I mean is C-suite all the way through to the analysts who are building the networks on a day-to-day basis. And because everybody's there, everyone learns from each other. You don't just hear the high-level idea. You can actually then go and ask the people who are building the networks how they execute on that high-level idea. And so it's an opportunity for those folks who are building the networks, anyone at middle management, anyone who's looking to climb the ladder, wants to be, continue to grow in their career, that they're in a room with people who are willing to talk about how their role impacts what's happening with their networks, from the people who build it to the people who are strategizing 3, 4, 5 years out for expansion. So they interact with each other, they talk with each other, they get to ideate with each other on multiple levels, because we don't just leave it at that high level discussion where there's people talking at you from the stage. We actually give opportunity to take those concepts and do in a table talk or do an experiential session or a hands-on learning opportunity for those folks to work with the C-suite folks together to actually apply those theories and those concepts that they're learning in that thought leadership.
Sounds like it is just very beneficial, as you said, to a lot of teams. People might be going to a handful of different sessions and then they're able to come together with that same spot and really talk about it and really be able to help their team and their organization.
Yeah, we try and look at it from multi-levels, right? Like what is What is the gain for the organizations that are there? What are they going to be able to go back and do together to make a real impact? But then also always challenging ourselves when we were writing the key takeaways or picking the topics that we're going to be covering is what is someone, whether they have a particular product, solution, and line of business, whatever may be the topic of that session, are they still going to be able to take away something that they can apply in their job today, in their career today? Whether it's to help them better in their skill set, better in their career growth. What is it that they can walk away with where they've learned it and they can apply it right away, regardless of if it's a perfect match of where they sit, line of business wise, or where their role is. We also encourage all of our clients to bring teams with them that expand across the organization, whether it's bring someone from Medicare and QHP and bring someone from all lines of business, bring your IT folks, bring your marketing folks, bring your adequacy and accuracy folks. I can't tell you how many times at Vision Quest we have put together teams where, we all know adequacy and accuracy for provider networks go hand in hand, right? Like it's using the same data. We talk about this all the time at Vision Quest, but yet health plans sometimes can be siloed and these teams have never met each other. I can't tell you how many times at Vision Quest we've brought these teams together to realize how integral they are to each other as far as the data is concerned, and got those conversations started for them within their organization. So those are the exciting things that happen that I love to talk about.
You're taking that approach of professional development isn't a one size fits all. You're really being able to have something there for everybody, but then at the same time, also really have it help their team.
Bring the team, because like you said,
or the barrier.
If you're a solo person going to a conference, you're going to gain some knowledge. You're going to bring it back, hopefully apply it and make yourself more efficient or effective for your organization or for your career growth, hopefully, right? But if you try and implement change, right? Now you're trying to educate your manager or educate your team on what it is you should be doing. And a good idea starts to die fast, right? Because it's hard to get buy-in. But if you have your team there, the ones executing, the ones who are managing the execution teams, if you have everybody there, the buy-in is there because you're having these conversations throughout the conference where you're like, hey, I went to this session. Hey, I went to this session. What did you guys learn? What did you learn? Oh my gosh. And then you start to ideate and build off of each other where you come back with actionable, tangible things that you can implement right away across the team because everyone already has the buy-in. And the impact happens that much faster.
Yes, time saver. That's what kept going through my mind as you're saying that. I'm like, it's such a time saver, right?
One of the other things to mention, Kate, is, we have people who've been, you asked about career growth and how does Vision Quest help with that? We have people who have come to Vision Quest since the first Vision Quest, decades, over a decade plus, way before my time came. And they have come to every single Vision Quest since. And not just one person, lots of people have come every single year. And that includes during COVID when we went virtual. They came then too. So the fact that they come back year over year and they learn something new every single time. And I've watched them grow in their career from, coming, as one job position and growing into a manager, into a director, and watching that career growth happen. And, I would like to think that some of the knowledge that they gained, maybe had come from the past, or at least maybe some of the relationships, who knows? But we have seen people, start at one point of their career and grow to another point as we watch them do that over the course of Vision Quest. So it's a very great thing to see.
Agree that see if you come to Vision Quest, your career just goes up. The data shows
Exactly.
Networking is fundamental to professional growth. Can you elaborate a little bit on how Vision Quest intentionally designs the opportunities for attendees to forge those meaningful connections that really go beyond just handing out a business card?
Well, I don't even know who has business cards anymore. But nonetheless, I totally get you. Like the virtual card, the chips, whatever they have. Yes, networking receptions, events like that, those are always fun, right? And so we always try and have a welcome reception the first night. Why do we do that? Well, one, it's fun. And everyone's coming in at different times. But bottom line is, if you can engage activities or create an experience that people have together, that creates rapport. And then that report travels with them into the conference. So, now they know the people. They have friends at the conference. They can go in and say, hey, we won that game last night, or, we did X, Y, or Z last night together. And now we can start talking about the topics at hand because we've already broken the ice with the report. So those are the fun activities. In addition to that, we create a lot of opportunities for networking within this section, where we do group activities or we do table talks where we bring different people from different organizations together to talk about a certain topic, and to share best practices, challenges that they're experiencing within their organizations, and hear how other organizations are dealing with that. So not only are you having some fun rapport building, let's break the ice with everybody there, but then you're also with your peers who are dealing with the same thing you're dealing with, and how are they working through it, and you work through it together. One of the things I always found amazing that also happens at Vision Quest is everyone gets to be with people who understand what they're talking about. So this is kind of a niche industry, right? Like as far as, let's talk about it. Provider network management, provider data accuracy, network adequacy, network performance, geo-targeting, like all these words that we know, but outside of our industry or outside even your department, who knows these words? And so people like coming together. We create this intimate environment where everyone who's there gets it. It's kind of like you want to say the phrase, if you get it, you get it, right? And that's really what Vision Quest is all about, is getting those people who all get it together to talk about it.
You don't have to explain it. They get it. They know the acronyms. They know all of it, and it's great.
Exactly.
Fantastic. So with that, what is something unexpected or surprising about Vision Quest that attendees might not know but will absolutely love?
Ooh, that's always fun. That they don't know. I can tell you that we're, for the first time, what you talked about networking, we're actually extending the networking this year. So on the second day, we're actually I don't know about you, but when I'm at conferences, I get cold. And so I always sit on a rock like a lizard for a little while because I need to defrost. But it's hard. You go to all these, sunny places or nice places that we put all these conferences, and you sit in a conference room the entire day, and you don't get to experience the city that you're in as much as you would like to. So on that second day, what we're doing is networking activities. And so we're giving everyone a break. We're going to dismiss around 2:30-ish. And send everyone on an option of 4 different activities that they're going to do within the vicinity of the conference center in Austin. That'll let them explore the city a little bit, enjoy the sunshine a little bit, maybe hot, but it's okay. And get to do that with their peers. So again, building that rapport, building shared experiences. These are all things that create relationships and allow you to have these peer relationships coming out of Vision Quest, because not just sitting in a conference listening to things, but you're actually getting to experience things within the city with your peers.
Well, y'all heard it here first. It's like a TMZ headline, excuse me. So that is amazing. You might have already answered it, but like something that you're really looking forward to.
I look forward to because they're all so unique and different. But I'd be remiss if I didn't send out register, come join us, come join the fun, right? I mean, granted, I'm probably a little biased, but I really do think we put on one of the best conferences out there in the industry. We go to painstaking degrees to make sure that we cover all the folks that are coming, all lines of business, ancillary, dental, vision. We've got something for you if you're coming. You'll get to meet some wonderful questers, have some fabulous discussions, enjoy some just wonderful experiences with each other. And like Kate said earlier, just walking away with knowledge and information that's going to help you in your career growth, that's going to help you within your organization, and really ultimately following the mission of Quest Analytics, which is together we all can improve the access to care for Americans. And that's what we're all out to do. And going to Vision Quest is another way to help make that happen. So I encourage you to register.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, April. And we'll have all the information in the description below. So as April said, register, bring more people from your team. It's a full-on team event, and we can't wait to see you.
Kate and I will be there, so we can say hi in person, and we'd love to see you there.
Awesome.